What the heck is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the KindaFunny Xcast, your home for all things Xbox here at KindaFunny. Of course, I'm one of your show hosts, Snowbike Mike, and today I am joined by both of my gaming dads, Mr. Parris Lilly, of course, via Discord already. We've lost him after 1 week in the spare bedroom studio. I miss your presence. I miss your energy. But, homie, it's great to see you. Parris, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. And yes, I miss being in the studio. It was a great week last week, despite not going to dinner due to reasons. But we'll take care of that next time.
Yeah, of course. We will take care of that next time. I hope that you've gotten some rest after your big Starfield review. Of course, we know all last week and the week before you were playing a lot of games, and now we can finally talk about it. Gary Witta, you got some cool shades on. What up, big dog?
Well, as I said before the show, I'm not trying to pull off a look or anything because I mean I can't. And nothing. You can't. As they say in my motherland, you can't polish a turd. So it's not going to look like, it doesn't matter what I do. Parris put his shades on earlier and just like blew me off the screen.
Yeah.
No, it's just like I forgot my regular glasses at home. I use these for driving. It's a nice sunny day, and when I got here, I'm like, I didn't bring my regular glasses, so I'm stuck with these.
Well, when we go back to the wide shot, of course, one Parris Lilly has put his glasses on.
Has he put them on? No, don't do that to me. Oh, my God.
You look great. The both of you look
Are those
great.
the Danger Zone glasses?
Of course they are.
They're imitation ones, but yes, Microsoft owns the Danger Zone glasses. I
wow.
Keep them.
We will talk about you two in all of our weeks, but of course, we have a very special guest on this week's show. I wanted to bring her in because she did an incredible review on Bethesda's Starfield. She has an awesome YouTube gaming channel that you can go check out that I'm going to tell you all about in just a moment. Of course, it's a lovely Teegan, aka Lite. Hello, Teegan. How are you today?
Hello, I'm great. I'm nervous. I'm excited. As I said beforehand, I'm trying not to fangirl too much because I've got a bunch of greats in the room, and then it's just little old me over here.
You are a great. You are an upcoming superstar. Of course, you can find all of her cool gaming content and more over on youtube.com/LiteWeightGaming. We have that up on your screen, and it will be in the video description. But Teegan, let's talk about all things you for just a second. Then we'll talk about the jabronis and the crew here. Of course, hey, welcome. Tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel and what got you into that.
All right. Hello. So as you already introduced, my name's Teegan, but people in the gaming world call me Lite. Oh, I'm frozen.
That's all right.
There you go. You're back.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. My YouTube channel, I pretty much play first playthrough videos for story-driven games, so things like the Red Dead series, all things Rockstar, really. The Last of Us, I'm currently playing through Mass Effect for the first time, so you guys were talking about a Mass Effect a lot in the last Q&A video you did, so I was really excited to actually understand some of those references. And really, it's just a bunch of chaotic fun, which is why my channel name is Lightweight Gaming.
Chaotic fun. And some Mass Effect right now on the brain. Of course, Gary, you love Mass Effect.
I'm all about Mass Effect, which is part of the reason why I was so excited for Starfield. Is I'm looking until the next Mass Effect game comes. Who knows when that will be?
Yeah.
Starfield was meant to kind of scratch that itch.
I like that. Teegan, of course, you also had a very special review. You did get a review copy. You did a great review. It's actually a super simple Starfield review, which I appreciate. Nice, easy, to the point. So congratulations on all the hard work. Of course, if the best friends haven't checked out your channel yet, when they go do it, what were your thoughts on Starfield so far?
So far, I love it. I'm one of those people where I'm a huge Bethesda person. Skyrim is my favorite game of all time, so I was super excited to get another Bethesda game. Obviously, it's been a little while, so as people have been calling it, Skyrim in space, I was really excited for that, and it's everything I wanted it to be. Obviously, there are some critiques that we have all talked about, and I'm sure we'll talk about again today, but I felt it's a must-buy game, especially if you have an Xbox, and I stand by that still.
Teegan, I'm into that. I cannot wait to talk more Starfield with you and my gaming dads. Of course, this week, the episode is all about our Starfield stories. It's a week after launch. If you jumped in on early access, of course, for all of you Game Pass subscribers, maybe you're jumping in this week as of listening to the podcast. And of course, these three incredible human beings, they played a bunch of it during the review period. I'm coming hot off of a 48-hour live stream, Gary. We did 48 full hours.
I tuned in to that a couple of times to see how you were doing.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, it was like 11 o'clock. It was late. I don't know how many hours in you were, but you were all the way gone. Like you were bouncing off the walls, just losing it.
I had a good time, Gary. You know, you put me in that room, the lab that we call it, and you let me be me. I have a good time.
Like a padded cell.
Exactly. I did lose my mind night number 2. But, night 1, we did some yoga. We did some push-ups.
Yeah.
We streamed 24 straight hours, and then I got a break.
Did you enjoy playing the game for that length of time?
Loved it, Gary. I loved it. Because the best part about this experience was there was moments where I shared moments with you, with Parris.
Yeah, I sat in with you for a while, yeah.
Everybody came and sat in. Really, we had the team who reviewed it. They kind of shared their thoughts, talked about it. And then when everybody went away, it was, Mike's focusing on the game time. So I got my good experience that I wanted out of it. And I've continued to play another 15 hours after. So I've gotten a lot of
How long was that stream in the end?
48 hours total.
Damn.
48 hours full of Starfield. And I think the biggest compliments I can give it, probably 2 total crashes. The Xbox was on for all 48 hours of it. Never turned off. And we didn't do a single main story mission.
Right?
Kudos to that.
Yeah,
pretty incredible.
that's cool.
Teegan, I want to bring you into the conversation because my gaming dad bought something outrageous. And he's gotten on me, Teegan, a couple of times of buying some ludicrous stuff. Puma gaming socks, a Razer-sponsored Razer. I want to know.
You do buy some stupid shit.
I love buying stupid shit, Gary. I want to know, Teegan, before I have Gary tell us about what stupid thing he bought, behind you have an incredible set. What is one weird, wacky, stupid thing that you bought that you absolutely love?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I have anything weird or wacky. Probably my favorite thing, I don't know if you can see it, is over on that one side. I have the Mjolnir thing from the collector's edition of God of War, and I don't know if we can talk about that because it's an Xbox podcast, but I like both. So.
We can.
I mean, of course, Alana Pierce went to go right for Sony Santa Monica, so we can definitely talk
right.
about it here.
So I just have to rep as Alana Pierce, that's all.
That. You also have Grogu behind you. You didn't want to call out Grogu, the baby Yoda behind you?
Multiple Grogus.
Oh, wow.
I have that one, the cheapo one from Target, and then I have the Sideshow collectible one that was like way more money than I should have probably spent on it. But, he's too cute to pass up.
That's rad. Gary, what did you spend your money on? Hit me with it. Let's talk about it.
So my friend Adam sent me a link to this Samsung monitor for my PC. It's been, the ultra-wide thing has been a thing for a while, but now there's another category above that for super ultra-wide. And I saw this thing. I thought, I got to have it. Adam and I, who co-created Loodle, as you recall.
Of course.
Loodle ended up making enough money that we had to start an LLC to incorporate it. And
a big deal, Gary.
Yeah, it was 15 million players worldwide. It took off. And now we have this account that is theoretically the fund for the development of the next project, whatever that might be. But actually, Adam and I just use it to buy stupid shit and we treat it like free money.
Yeah, of course.
So he was like, it's funny because he said, I was I'm going to buy this with Loodle Bucks, and he was like, oh, I'm so jealous. I said, what are you talking about? That money is as much yours as it is mine because we built the game together. So he went off and bought one. I got mine on the Saturday. He got his yesterday. Let me tell you something. This thing, it's the Samsung Odyssey G9, 49-inch, super ultra. Well, here's a picture I just posted today of Starfield. I hacked Starfield and got it running at 5120 times 1440. It's insane.
Yeah, this is insane.
I tell you, somebody said make sure you put up Forza Horizon 5 on it. I put Forza Horizon 5 on it, super ultra wide. It's fully supports that resolution. Absolutely bananas. Oh my God. I was worried. Is this going to be too stupid? Is it going to be silly? It's the best tech purchase I've ever made. I'm so happy with it. Every time I walk into my office, I'm like, oh my God, that thing's here. I forgot about that. Yeah. It is insane.
It's been 48 hours. Of course
I love it so much. No, I mean, trust me, this is a love affair that's going to last.
Okay.
It's so much fun.
So you encourage others to maybe
in the cockpit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. To me, it's actually better than VR because you don't have any of the limitations or annoyances of VR, but it still feels immersive. I can look that way, and I'm still looking at the screen. It's mental.
So with Starfield, let's keep it with that. Are you playing first person, third person, a little bit of everything? As Teegan said, are you in the cockpit, really getting after it?
Well, as you know, I've been playing on Xbox, and the Play Anywhere side of it is really cool. Right? I can pick up my save on the PC version, and I have both. I started playing on Xbox, and I want to play this on the best screen. I got my 65-inch OLED in the living room. That's how I'm going to play. I want to play this game. Games like this, you want to play in the best way you can, right? Yeah. But the best way I can is no longer on the Xbox. It's on this ridiculous monitor on, a very beefy PC where I'm getting a trillion frames a second. PC version's no slouch. We talked about it last week. 30 frames a second. People have been having fun with that, but it's perfectly good. The game is playable, and you never feel slow. It never slows down. It's perfectly good. But on PC, it's another story. So
Don't let Greg hear you.
Yeah, in terms of like how I'm playing, it's Parris and I talked about. It's interesting. So I don't know if you're still doing this, Parris, but you talked about how like when you're walking around, you're in third person like Mass Effect, but when it pops off, you go into first person for combat. Yeah. I think I'm just playing in first person because I don't, even though it's two different layers, I don't love the way it does third person. I think when my character runs, I think she looks a bit silly.
Yeah.
So I'm just playing it as a first person game. But Parris, you're still switching back and forth?
Yeah. Whenever I'm on a planet to scan it for resources, I jump into third person. But when I know I'm going to go into a combat situation, I'll pop it into first. Or if I'm like on a space station or something like that, I pop it into first person perspective. Seems pretty intuitive to me. I'm not having any issue with it at all, but it's part of the beauty of it. I think it's perfectly playable either way. It just comes down to personal preference.
Yeah. I like that it gives you the option. I wish more games would do that.
Yeah. Teegan, are you playing it first or third?
I'm playing first. I pretty much play all Bethesda games in first, except for when I'm flying. Then I go into third person because I feel like I can't tell the ship is moving when I'm in first person. So I have to go in third person so I can see the engines are actually doing something.
Talk about the fun running animation. Nothing will ever beat a Bethesda title where you got a companion and you get like way out there and then you turn and then your companion's sprinting at you. I love it. I die laughing every time that happens. It doesn't matter who it is. Well, we should start talking about Starfield because I'm really excited. It's been a full week. Gary, way to swipe the card, though. I'm proud of you for buying something insane, and I'm happy that you love the purchase.
I'm so happy. Next time you're over, you got to come see this.
I can't wait.
It's a monster.
Yeah, we're going to go out to dinner and have some fun time sharing some stories. But before me and Gary go out to dinner, let's talk about the Xcast because, of course, this is the Kinda Funny Xcast. We post each and every Thursday at 6 a.m. West Coast, Best Coast time on YouTube.com/KindaFunnyGames, RoosterTeeth.com, and, of course, on podcast services around the globe. Do me a favor. If you're listening on your favorite podcast service, tweet at me. Let me know what podcast service you enjoy catching Kinda Funny content on. And please leave a review. Good, bad, ugly. It doesn't matter. I would love to hear your feedback on how we continue to better the show for your enjoyment. Of course, we're talking all things Starfield. And one Greg Miller has lost his mind in this brand new Bethesda universe. He has played through the game, the campaign, 5 times now and continued to run New Game Plus. And he wanted me to tell you about his spoiler cast. It's not the official Kinda Funny spoiler cast. He just needed to get it out. He needed an avenue to tell you all about his stories and his experience running the game through 5 different times. So Greg Miller's Starfield spoiler talk is now up as a Kinda Funny Games cast for all you audio listeners and, of course, on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. So go check out Greg. Just a one-man show telling you all of his favorite Starfield stories. Of course, don't forget, we are now Epic Games partners, which means if you are buying games off the Epic Games Store, if you're upgrading your look in Fall Guys, Rocket League, or Fortnite, please use our Epic creator code KindaFunny at checkout to help support the team. And talking about support, we always like to thank those who support us over here at Kinda Funny via Patreon. Thank you to our Patreon producers for the month of September, Brave, Athos, Jedi Master Deadpool, and Delaney Twining. Thank you all so much for your support. This week, the Kinda Funny Xcast is sponsored by Shady Rays and DraftKings Sportsbook, but I'll tell you all about that in just a little bit. Guys and gals, let's jump in to the fun. Let's share our stories. It's been one full week that we've been playing Starfield, and Teegan, you're the guest, so I want to start off with you. Give me a fun story from Starfield that you love right now. What have you gotten lost in? Of course, I guess preference this with, hey, Kinda Funny best friends, everyone listening near and wide and far all around the globe. We're going to dive into it. We're not going to give you main story spoilers per se, but we're going to talk about faction quests, side quests. We're going to just share our stories. So I know a lot of you have already played via early access. I know some of you are just jumping in thanks to Game Pass. If you do not want to be spoiled on anything, hey, bookmark this episode. Come on back when you're ready. But the Kinda Funny Xcast crew is going to tell you all of their favorite stories from Starfield, starting right now. So you've been warned, jabronis. Teegan, tell me something fun that you love.
I think my favorite thing is to grab jump to a new system and have a random encounter. I have had so many amazing random encounters, and I get so excited every time I grab jump, like, who am I going to see? Who am I going to see? And, you know, a lot of times it's nobody, but when it's somebody, it's always really exciting. I ran into a grandma who invited me on board for cookies and a dinner, And I was like, this has to be a setup. This is totally a setup. So I went with my guns ready, and I go on, and it's literally a grandma sitting on her couch. Like, my husband passed away a couple years ago, and we used to eat every meal together. And I was like, oh my God, now I'm crying. I was ready to kill you, and now I'm crying. And I'm taking all of your food, like your tikka masala and your cookies. There was sweet rolls there, which was a nice little callback to Skyrim. I haven't had the extended warranty one yet, but I've seen all over Twitter that there's one who asks you about your ship's extended warranty.
Yes, I got that one.
I haven't had that one.
Yep.
I just ran into a school trip it was actually kind of funny because I just hit my 1-year anniversary of no longer teaching. I used to be a teacher, and hit it on the day that it was my 1-year anniversary. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is hitting me in the feels too. And it was these kids, their ship broke down, and they're like, the school didn't pay for us to have a ship that worked. And do you have any parts? And I didn't have any parts. I was literally in the system to hunt pirates, and I left them to the wolves because I had no ship parts to give them.
I left them as well. I left them stranded. I did not. I've been running pretty lean and mean, no ship parts at all. I actually have like 42% health on my ship, and I haven't been able to repair it in hours of gameplay. So I feel that, Teegan. I left those poor people there for sure.
You can repair your ship.
Yeah, you know, you just hold down one of the thumbsticks to use the ship parts.
No,
I don't have those
ship parts. You can go to Greg Miller Jemison, New Atlantis. Land there, or any place that has a spaceport with a technician, they'll fix your ship.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Parris, I've done that maybe once in the entire playthrough. Yeah. I have not I don't talk to those jabronis at the spaceport. I don't waste time with them. I run right past them, and I'm on to a mission. But good call, because I do need to, because I am hitting a part now where I am getting in some good space combat, and I definitely need to up my ship a little bit. But yeah, Teegan, I've encountered the space warranty people as well, and I proceeded to shoot them out of space because that's my excitement level. They did run away, so I expect them to come back and ask me about my extended warranty anytime soon. Parris, have you run into some fun jumping into a new space and seen anybody?
I'm glad that you asked. So, yes, I would say one of my favorite parts of the game as well are the random encounters. One story that I didn't get to tell during the review was just went to a random planet, decided to land on the other side of the planet, not where any of the points of interest were. And I'm like, I'm just going to walk around and discover. Found this unknown location. All right, let's go check it out. I come up on it. It's an abandoned communication station. And this communication station had been taken over by robots, basically Vasco. A bunch of Vascos took over the station, and they're broadcasting that no organics are allowed in this station. And I was like, you know what? I'm going in anyways. And I went in, and sure enough, they came in right behind me blasting. And I was like, oh crap. And I ran out and got out of there, and they literally chased me halfway across the planet, you know? So I just thought that was so cool that has nothing to do with the main story, nothing with a side story, anything. This is just something I naturally found on my own, and it was a fun moment that obviously has stuck with me. And I think that just kind of symbolizes what the game is. But yeah, I think the real beauty of it is that random discovery that every planet can potentially be a new adventure. You just simply don't know.
Gary, we've had a random encounter and a random experience recently. Do you want to talk about us being in a Dunkey video?
Oh yeah, this is the
highlight.
This is the highlight of my month.
A big deal.
So you know, if you're watching Xcast, I'm sure Teegan knows, Parris knows, everyone knows who VideoGameDunkey is. He's my personal favorite game YouTuber. He's hilarious. I love watching his videos. Go watch him doing the Super Mario Odyssey Luigi balloon challenges. Oh my God, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And he has a Starfield video up, and it's actually, I think, obviously this is what's interesting about Starfield right now. It's out there now, right? So everyone's got a take, and that polarization that we were seeing prior to the launch of the game has continued, right? Everyone's either like, there's no like, it's pretty good, you know, but it's like everyone's either like they love it or hate it, and there's a lot of kind of tribalism happening right now, and I think it's boring, but it is that's what it is. That's what Starfield discourse is right now. And so what Dunkey does, rather than review it, he just kind of crowdsource the review by putting together here's a good review, so the score will go up, or here's a bad review, the score will go down, and highlighting some of the ridiculous takes, and again some of the jank, because the game is janky, right? Like there's no way around it. Like that, what's known as the Bethesda jank, it's there, and they'll continue to patch it out, I'm sure, but it's janky as shit. And Dunkey did a review, and at the end of it, he had a little, because that Phil Spencer interview we did, that's the gift that keeps on giving. The little clip of that from the end, and so it was just, hey, I was in a Dunkey video, so I'm gonna take that. That was cool.
We're in a
we were
Dunkey
all in a
we
Dunkey
got to
video.
share that, and
Yeah.
that's pretty freaking rad. Because Dunkey makes some great content that always makes me laugh and
He
smile.
cracks me up.
Wild. And then all my friends are texting me like, "Yo, you're in a Dunkey video." I was like, "That's crazy. I hope he's not, dunking on me."
No, it was good. It was good. So, yeah, you never want to be in Dunkey's sights.
No.
If he's going, yeah.
We're in his good side.
Stay in his good books.
Parris, give me something you love from the game right now that you're enjoying, or some fun story that you got for me.
So again, we said we're not going to spoil anything from the main story, but one thing, this isn't the main story, but one thing that I truly loved, probably one of my favorite moments, was the Mantis quest.
Oh, okay.
To me, that was Mass Effect Shadow Broker type stuff. I just love how it started off as just an activity. Like, I think it actually starts off, depending on the spacer, you'll find a note or whatever, and that kicks off an activity. And then you do that activity, and that just leads off into the Mantis quest. And then by the end of it, you become the Mantis. And you get I believe it's the Razor Leaf, I believe is the ship that you get. And you take on that persona during the rest of the game. There were moments where I know you'd get into like a space battle with like pirates or something, and then see you're in the Razor Leaf and they realize who you are, and they'll leave because you have that reputation. It's almost like the Dread Pirate Roberts from The Princess Bride, kind of think of that vibe. But I love that quest. The funny part about it is there's a puzzle that's in that quest that you have to solve. Some people have been able to manage to get around it, right? Because there's a little trick you can do, but there's a puzzle in there. So here's my fun story about this. So the first time I go through, there's an NPC that, like, you get in this firefight, and there's this NPC. I didn't kill him, and I interrogate him, and he tells you how to solve the puzzle. Great. I didn't listen, right? So I died like a dummy when you get to the puzzle. My save kicked me all the way back, and I had to do the firefight all over again. The next 3 times I did that firefight, I wound up killing the guy accidentally so then he's not telling me how to do it. And yeah, I was save scumming. I admit it. But I was like, wait, he was telling me I'm going to do this until he finally tells me what I need to do. And then I figured it out. But I just thought that was so cool that here's an option that, depending on how you play it, there may, like, if I didn't do that the first time and I killed the NPC the first time, I never would even known that he had that information, and I would have had to figure out the puzzle on my own. But I just thought that quest was fantastic. It was really good, had some great moments in it, and then the reward that you get, because I rocked that Mantis suit the rest of my first playthrough. I was the Mantis the rest of the time, and I just thought it was great, really good.
That's pretty rad. You done that yet, Gary?
No, I've probably played it less than anybody.
Okay.
I've got a decent number of hours in, but I haven't played. The truth is, I haven't played a whole lot since we were last on the show last week.
Oh, okay.
Because I haven't had a ton of time to play video games, like, full stop. If I'm playing video games, I'm playing Starfield right now, 100%. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to play. And when I have been playing, I'm not going to derail the podcast. I'm not going to go on about it, but I'm just going to. When I was on the show last week, and I was complaining about encumbrance and inventory management, I was like, is it just me? Now the game's out, it ain't just me. Everyone's complaining about it. What's good games, other people are complaining about it. And then, again, the Starfield stands who won't hear a bad word said against the game. Oh, no, it's easy. All you got to do is, like, transfer stuff to your locker and then buy a bigger cargo hold and then go to the lodge where you've got infinite supply stash, make that your main stash, and or they could just build an encumbrance system that isn't shit. Like, why isn't it just good to begin with? Why do I have to jump through all these hoops? I hate encumbrance. Many games use it without any hassle. I said to people, this game starts you off with such a low encumbrance cap that I can barely pick it. I feel like I can barely pick anything up. It's really, really annoying. I desperately want them to patch it. I'm not going to go on about it. It's so annoying. It's literally making me not want to play the game. And so until they fix it, I'm not super excited about. I'm honestly not super excited about playing the game. It's a little thing, but it's killing my experience.
No, absolutely. And I'm real curious to hear what Lightweight has to say on this, but I'll just simply say this one thing. I mean, yeah, it is my number one complaint about the game. It is my number one critique because, yes, I get that traditionally Bethesda games have had encumbrance and all that, but I think this game is not meant to be played that way because it encourages you to go out and discover and collect all these resources. And the way that just the levels are set up, you're constantly rewarded for going off the beaten path, picking a master log, going in a room, finding a new weapon, finding a new resource, finding all these things. And then the fact that your inventory systems aren't linked, depending on where stuff is, it's hard to remember where everything is. So yeah, it's my number one complaint.
You can't fast travel when you're encumbered, which is a killer.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, go. Here's the thing. Starfield is a game that I think got a lot of the big things right.
Yeah.
You know, the discoverability, the sense of possibility, go anywhere, do anything. You can be a pirate, be a smuggler, be a good guy. All of the big, like, blue sky stuff, I think it actually largely achieved that. But it's being hobbled by a bunch of, like, just little kind of annoying things that, like, don't go away. And it's like, go to 1 million planets, discover anything. Just don't expect to be able to bring anything back to your ship because you can't carry anything. It's so annoying. There'll be, and I guarantee there'll be like 100 Starfield stands in the comments as well. All you need to do is this and that.
Yeah.
No, just build a better encumbrance system. I would actually love to have a conversation, like a wonky conversation with some game designers about what is the point of encumbrance? Like Zelda doesn't need it, one of the best games ever made. Carry as much as you want. Like how does encumbrance and limiting how much you can carry make the game better? How does it make the experience more fun? It doesn't. It makes it less fun. And again, if you want to have encumbrance, fine. Baldur's Gate 3 has it, but I can carry a bunch of stuff before I hit the cap. I'm tired of that little thing flashing up. Whoa, running while encumbered will deplete your oxygen. No, just let me carry stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to carry things around. And when I'm on the surface of an inhospitable planet, my suit, my helmet, and my pack is half my encumbrance just to walk around. That's half gone before I'm even out the door of the spaceship. I said I wasn't going to go on, but fix it.
I like it.
Okay.
Well, let's hear from Teegan. Where do you fall on the
She's nodding along. I think Teegan agrees.
I think everybody in their mama's with you, Gary. But Teegan, how do you feel about encumbrance?
I totally agree. And I feel like it's a silly thing because in Fallout 4, they had the workbench and you could literally just pile everything into that workbench and there was no max capacity for the workbench. So they had the system before, and I feel like they really could put something like that in again. And at first I thought the research station was something similar, and in a way it kind of is, but you can only put in if it needs it, right? So I couldn't just put in all of my aluminum if I don't need aluminum to research a project. So really what they need is they need something like the research station where you can just put everything in there, just like in Fallout 4. You can just store it there, and it doesn't matter where you're building, you pull from those workbenches. So in Fallout 4, if you built a settlement, you could put everything into that one workbench, and then you build a settlement on the opposite side of the map, you're still pulling things from that workbench. And I don't understand why they can't put something in like that, because I totally agree. They want you to build these stations. They want you to do these research projects and build these mods. But with the encumbrance, you don't want to pick anything up because you pick up 2 things of aluminum, and then all of a sudden you're over encumbered and you can't get that really cool weapon that drops from that ecliptic person that you just killed. And then I have my companion yelling at me like, do you really need all that junk? Yes, actually, Sarah, I do need this junk. Let me carry it. I
think I mentioned it last week on the show that what really did it for me, and this is where I actually put the game down for a while, and I just got really frustrated with it, was I was on the first Free Star Ranger mission. I picked a random one off the board. Go kill this pirate captain. Go to this space station or this planetary facility. I went in there, killed the captain, and then, you know, I got a bunch of loot. But I got kind of turned around inside the base and I couldn't figure out how to get back to my ship because there's no map. Don't get me started on that either.
The game
needs a decent map system as well. Because the waypointing system just doesn't work that well. I'll fast travel back to the ship. Can't fast travel while you're encumbered. I'm like, oh, fuck you. And so I had to drop all the shit that I had collected just to fast travel back to my ship. And I literally had to walk away from the game for a bit because I got so annoyed. It frustrates me all the more when you know that there's a good game there and you want to have that, this good discovery, planet's amazing, I can be wherever I want to be. But like it's being dragged down by these like trivial annoyances, like that really. The good news is these are easy fixes. If Bethesda agree and they see enough from the community going, fix it. Hopefully they will fix it. There's going to be a patch coming. There'll be many patches coming. I really hope that they fix that.
Parris, what do you got for me?
So it's interesting. I'm glad what Gary just said, because kind of a point that now that we're a week out from the reviews and now the game is officially out and everyone has their hands on it and play it, I will fully admit, being the lead review for this game, I put some pressure on myself to make sure that, you know, I was judging the game as I was being as critical as I needed to be, and obviously as fair as I needed to be for the things that we like. And obviously that's why I said it was a 4 out of 5 and it's a great game. And it is a great game. And yeah, there's these nitpicks that we're talking about right now. But I think let's not sell this game short, in the sense that now that I've had a week where I feel like I can just relax and play it the way that I want to play it versus the way I felt it needed to be played for a review, this is a great effing game. It just is. This is definitely a triumph for Bethesda. All the kudos and the flowers that they've been getting over the past week about Starfield, they deserve it. I know we even had a conversation last week in the studio, like, is this a generational game for Xbox? I'm still not ready to say that, but I think that is a conversation that we potentially could be having as we get further away from the launch and people get more invested into the game and we start seeing more of these stories that we're talking about. Just reading comments over the past week from various people and my own personal experiences. And then you had the madman, that's Greg, all that he's been doing, and the chats with Paul Tassi and all the crazy stuff in New Game Plus. You realize there's so many layers to this game that we've just simply not even experienced yet. And to think the time and the effort that this team has put into this game, it absolutely should be celebrated. Is it a perfect game? No, of course not. For everything that we're saying right now, but it's a damn fun game. I have over 100 hours into this game, and I'm not slowing down at all. There's no reason to. Like, I literally will get off of this show right now and I'll just go do something random in the game because that's how it's made to be played. Just go do what you want to do when you want to go do it. And there's a new adventure right around the corner every time. It's a fantastic game.
I will echo that. And I want to make this point because I feel like I've come across as like a little bit negative on the game last week and this week.
No.
And because you got to call out the bullshit.
You have
when
to
see it,
I appreciate it.
But I would say in the main, I would say the best thing that I can take from a game is when I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about playing it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
this game has, I'm thinking about this. I'll get to it. There's literally something that I'm really excited to go back to the game and do. That I want to play the game. So the overall experience is brilliant. I said on Twitter earlier this week, the more I play the game, the more I like it. And I think that's how it's going to trend. Like, this is the kind of game that rewards putting the time in, and it's going to seem better and better over time. And the annoyances will get patched out, or they won't seem as annoying as you get a better handle on the game's systems. Couple of things. I got two things.
Hit me.
So I've been watching a lot of Starfield TikToks.
Okay.
Starfield TikTok is popping off right now. It's actually a really good place to go if you want a little. So there's a lot of TikToks like 10 things that you should know about Starfield. It's just little hidden things. I found a really good one. This is one thing two things I got to do when I get back and play.
Okay.
One is, I don't know if you know about this, in the lodge when you first start, the Constellation headquarters, downstairs in a basement somewhere, there is one of the best suits in the game. One of the best spacesuits in the game is in this sealed glass case, and it's behind a master lock. But thanks Bethesda Jank, there's a tiny little pixel that you can mouse over where you can just take the thing out of the case. So I got to go grab that before they patch it out. I'm going to go get the best suit in the game. And then, did you know about that, Parris?
No, I did not know that till you just said
Starfield
it.
TikTok is happening, man. And then the other one is, there was a bunch. I saw a bunch of these in a row. Oh, you got to go to the casino, the space casino, because like there's a thing where you fight these pirates, and then if you finish the mission, because it's a casino, there's like a ton of cash you can get, right? Big payday. And I thought, I got to figure out where that is, and I didn't look any further into it. I'm playing the game. I think I mentioned before, I've got severe medically diagnosed ADHD. Right, I can't keep a thought in my head for more than 5 seconds. But Starfield is the kind of game that rewards that, right? Because it's constantly jangling like the keys in front of you. You're like a toddler. Oh, what about this? Oh, no, look over here. There's something over here now. Like, I can't get anything done. I've got 8 different jobs, and I haven't really done any of them. I just keep getting more jobs. And that's, again, the game's like, if you want to play that way, play that way. And I love that it rewards that. So I was sitting with, I wanted to go see what Earth looked like, right? Because, Earth in the game is like completely barren and abandoned. I suspect as I get into the quest, there's more to it than that. But at the beginning, like it's just this desert wasteland, right? I'm going to go check out Earth, but I go to Earth and there's the moon, right? And Andy Cortez says, "Oh, you should land on the moon because when you stand on the surface of the moon and look at Earth, it looks really cool." Okay, I'll do that, right? So I'm already 1 degree. I'm not going to Earth anymore. Now I'm going here. Now I'm going to the moon.
Yeah.
So I fly over to the moon. Wait, hold on. There's a space station around the moon. What's that? Wait, what is this now? Another shiny object. Now I'm doing this. Go dock with the space station. It's the casino. I was like, oh my God, this is great. So I stopped right there, and it's my first zero-G battle when you're floating around in zero-G. Super cool. I'm excited to get back to that. So yeah, there's like a million. I just love. There's a million cool things to do. There's always something new to like grab your attention. And again, if you are easily distracted like me, again, I still haven't started the main quest because I'm too busy just doing every other thing. And I love games that reward and enable that kind of behavior.
You want to hear something really, really quick? I've not done any of that. I didn't know there was a casino on the moon till you just said that.
Can we gamble? Can we play blackjack?
No, so it's either an abandoned. I haven't got far enough into it. It's either because it's an emergent thing. It's not a mission you get. You just go there and discover it. As soon as I docked, it opens. I go, oh, this thing you can tell right away. Oh, it's the casino that I heard about on TikTok, and it's a depressurized environment. I think either the pirates came in and like raided it, or it's an abandoned station that the pirates are looting. But either way, I went in there. I realized, oh shit! Like, is the game bug? Oh no, I'm in 0G because there's no life support or pressurization on the station because it's been completely powered down. And then some pirates start floating towards me. You remember, like in Star Trek, when they go go aboard the Klingon ship and they're floating around in 0G?
Well, remember, I haven't.
Oh no, you've never seen Star Trek.
Yeah,
oh my god, I don't know how. I know, right? Look at Teegan's face. You've never seen Star Trek.
Star Trek, Stargate, must watches, and Battlestar Galactica.
Well, calm down.
Strange New Worlds is some of the best Star Trek.
I would not put Stargate in the same category as Star Trek.
For Teal'c alone, you got to put Stargate in there.
Let's move on.
You
too. I'm so.
You hurt me. You hurt me.
But this is exactly the kind of thing that we're talking about, right? And Parris just pointed out, like he's played 100 hours of the game.
Yeah.
That's a cool little thing just hidden away in the game. Like you just stumble upon it.
Yeah.
I love that. And I'm happy to play the game, just bouncing around. Now I want to tell you the main thing that I'm enjoying right now.
Tell me the main thing that you're enjoying. I like that. I
told you about how early on in the game I accidentally stole something.
Yeah.
And then I got sat in an interrogation room and like space CIA guy comes out and says, you can either go to jail or you can work for me going undercover in the Crimson Fleet, the pirates. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. I'll do that. So next thing you know, I'm like, suddenly the game's about this. And again, that's it. Like you think you're doing something, but suddenly you're going over here.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. And so I'm deep into this Crimson pirate thing. There is a character that comes up early in that storyline that I absolutely fucking hate. I hate it in the second I put my... watch Parris and Teegan when I say his name. So his name is Mathis.
Oh, Mathis sucks.
Right? He's the second... He's Delgado's second in command.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if it's a choice or if the guy just doesn't know how to do an Irish accent. But like, he keeps like falling in and out of this Irish accent. I'm like, where are you from?
Yeah.
What? Like you were Irish for like half of that?
Space Ireland.
Yeah, he's like space Irish. He's like, you were Irish for a second there, but then you weren't. Like, what is going on with you, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what is your story? I really wanted a dialogue choice saying, dude, what is up with your accent? Anyway, he's really annoying. He's one of those guys that hates you the second that you meet. Oh, I don't like this guy. But then you go off on a little side thing with him, and even though he's only met you like literally 5 minutes ago, and this is what's part of the problem I have with the dialogue and that Space Westworld theme park thing that I complained about last week, right away he's like, hey, guy I just met, how about you and me bump off Delgado and then we'll be number one? I'm like, what? No, dude, I don't even fucking know you. Like, why are we talking about? This is my first day on the job, and he wants me to kill the pirate leader. And at the end, you get to make a couple of choices. Either you say, yeah, let's do it, and I don't know how that plays out because I chose not to do it.
Okay.
And then if you choose not to do it, you can either sell him out to Delgado or not. And I sold him out because I hated this fucker.
Give him the boot.
Like, oh yeah,
Gary.
Mathis, by the way, has been talking constantly about bumping you off. And so Delgado's right. Well, you're out. And I wanted to kill him, but like he just got like kicked out of the Crimson Fleet. I go off and I play for several more hours. This is what's funny. He comes back.
Of course.
In his I'm floating around in space. This is what was annoying. So I was programming a jump. You know how like the amount of energy you put into your grav drive determines how fast the countdown is?
Yeah.
So if you put like, you can jump out really fast. If you do the minimum, it's about a 5-second countdown. And I just always have that because I don't need points in the grav drive. I'd rather give it to other things. So I start the countdown. As it's counting down, Mathis jumps into the system and is in my ear on the comm. I'm gonna get you with me bad pirate Irish accent. And I'm like, you're that motherfucker. Right, I want to kill you. But then, before I could press the button, I jumped away. And I'm like, I wanted to kill that fucker.
You'll see him again.
Yeah, he's coming
You're going to
back.
bump into him again. I got a good.
But you know what I mean,
that.
though. Like again, I complained about the game a lot, but like this is the kind of conversation I like having about Starfield.
Yeah.
Where you're basically telling fishing stories. Like, oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me last night in Starfield. The game does deliver all those kind of moments, and that's the big win of this game, I think.
Well, let's tell some more fishing stories. Let's jump into the factions right after a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Every purchase supports the Shady Rays Impact Program, which works directly with nonprofits and their communities to empower and make adventure accessible for all walks of life. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for y'all, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. You can go to shadyrays.com and use code KindaFunny for 50% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses. You can try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Again, that's shadyrays.com/kindafunny. This episode is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. We've had 7 months without an NFL game, but for all of you football fans out there, good thing that's over. NFL is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you a can't-miss offer for Week 1. This week, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings is hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. You can check out the app to see what you get. You can download now and use code KindaFunny to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That is code KindaFunny only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, you can call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call telephone number 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpd.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort KS. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms and responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
All right, team, let's bring it back. Let's continue the fun because, Gary, now you've turned a corner. Now you're bringing the energy and the fun, and that's what I like. And I want to talk about the factions because, of course, you brought up the Crimson Fleet. You brought up the Three-Star Rangers,
yeah,
right?
OC security.
And for me, I really loved the Rangers, right? Because you know, Gary, I'm a simple man.
You're a lawman.
I like to take a gun. I like to go shoot with it. And I found that their mission quests were very much, hey, go shoot things. And
Space
I like
justified.
That. And I will
who doesn't
say,
want that?
It's a very fun balance because a lot of the free range quests and bounties is go kill Crimson Fleet.
Right.
And of course, me as also a space pirate, because I play all sides of the field. As many people know, I'm on everybody's team until I choose which team I really want to be on. And so I was hanging out with the space pirates. They came up to me. They said, yo, bro, you got a $76,000 bounty on your head. And I said, oh, my God, where did that number come from? Everybody wants like $4,000, $3,000. These guys wanted $76,000. And then I snapped. I was like, oh, the Free Star Rangers, I must have killed dozens of pirate captains. So I had to pay that one off, Gary. But I haven't paid any. I have like $400,000 saved up. And so all of my problems, if somebody comes to me, here's money. I just throw money at people and say, get out of my face with
the
that.
first companion that I hired on Neon, there's 2 rival gangs. I can't remember what they're called. There's 2 rival gangs, and you're either, it's like you're either one, the Jets and the Sharks, like you're one or the other. And she said, oh, before you bring me on, you should know that I'm like a member of like Gang A. Again, I can't remember the name. It's like Gang A, and we hate Gang B. Is that going to be a problem? I said, no, come aboard the ship. But now I've got missions to go run with Gang B. And I'm like, well, if that happens, presumably that means that I'm fascinated to know how it'll happen. If I try to bring her as a companion, I would like to think the game's that's going to be a problem for her, right? I don't know. But I'm already thinking about like, you've got to juggle these different allegiances and so forth. Yeah, I'm having a time, and I haven't done. I really want to build out my ship. The ship building, I wish it held your hand a little bit more and like how to modify your ship. Yeah, yeah. Like I want to add like a contraband, like a shielded cargo hold so I can move contraband around. I can't figure out how to do that. Again, I haven't like taken a close. I wish it was a little bit more tutorial where it's like when you bring up shipbuilding for the first time. I wish it said, okay, here's how you do shipbuilding, but it just kind of like throws you in at the deep end, and some of it's intuitive, some of it isn't, and I don't yet quite know what I'm doing.
Teegan, let's talk about factions. What are some of your favorite factions in the game, Teegan?
So obviously I love the main one. I had an issue with the Crimson Fleet one where I can't continue it because I'm having a bug with it where it says go talk to this person about something, and when I talk to them they don't have the dialogue option that I need.
Bugged quests are the worst.
Oh, that's
When you just get stuck because of a stupid bug. Yeah.
And I was loving it. I really was. I am in New Game Plus now, so I'm really excited to go back and try it and see if it works this time. And I'm going to hard save a lot before then. Because the problem is, like you, I'm all over the place, right? So I was doing these missions and I was like, oh, wait, shiny. And I went over here and did this. And then I have a million saves between when I last did their mission and now, so I can't even reload. But I really was surprised by the UC Vanguard mission. The ending of that, really, I was like, holy crap, it totally blew my mind. I thought that was really cool. And I don't want to say anything more because I don't want any spoilers, but where that went, I totally was not expecting. I thought it was just going to be like, go here, destroy these ships. And it ended up being really, really cool. And I had a ton of fun with that one. And then it's kind of branched out into a bunch of other things, which I thought was really cool. So I think that one might be my favorite just because of where it ends up going. And then you look at things very differently after that.
I like that. I will say the end of the Crimson Fleet, a lot of money involved. I like money. You're going to get a lot of money, and a big payday always makes me smile. Parris, what factions are you joining up, and what were some of your favorites there?
Excuse me. So that the Crimson Fleet fact, that's my favorite. That I had so much fun in that, and the ending that you were alluding to. I will just say as a pro tip, upgrade your ship. Just get your ship.
Parris, can I ask you a
now.
question? How did you
Sure.
get on-ramped into that mission? Because with me, it was I stole something and then I was given. Is it the same way in every time?
So funny story. I had a bounty on me. It was pretty high. I don't think it was high as what Mike was, but literally I was the most wanted man in the entire UC galaxy, right? Everybody was after me. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I knew I had to clear the bounty. I wound up going to New Atlantis and they arrested me in orbit. And then that's how I got looped into it. So funny story with that one, going through that Crimson Fleet mission, I actually, the undercover people, I don't want to spoil it too much. One mission I was on, I wound up killing, I guess, a little too many people. They kicked me out. Like I had no choice. Knowing the dialogue things, I was like, no second chances. I wound up getting kicked out. So by the end, I'm just full on Crimson Fleet at that point. I was no longer doing anything for the UC, but I actually kind of loved that. There were repercussions for my actions during the missions. It wasn't just generic. Everything plays out the same. So I've not seen how to play out the other way. If I do stay in,
Parris,
so I want to do that in New
like I said, you were the most wanted man in the galaxy. Literally, all I did was take a uniform from the wrong locker at OC Security after I applied for a job there.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, oh well, you can go to jail for the rest of your life. And all I did was take what was this Mega City 1? I took a suit from the wrong locker, but fine, I'll go be an undercover agent.
You got a set of skills they want to use.
I've got a particular set of skills.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
and by the way, I can't talk enough about this. I picked the trait where you have parents and you can go hang out with your parents. I love that. I just hang out with my parents. And what's really cool, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'm right in saying this, whatever character model you build and create, your mother's character is based off of that. Like she looks like your mother. That's so cool.
So what does your dad look like?
Just looks like dad. Just like a generic. He's just a dad.
Okay. I went with Adoring Fan, which I told you to last week about, but I think I messed it up. I brought him into my life really quickly. Like he came up once and I was like, you know what? You come join the ship. And so I don't get those moments where he comes out of nowhere and annoys me because like he's already my friend and my homie. So
I saw a couple of people tweeting out the parents saying they're like, because like you can imagine, for some people, fortunate enough, I had a pretty happy upbringing. But for some people, the idea of like these virtual parents who are like, they're super supportive, they're super nice, they bring you a cup of tea, stay as long as you want, your room's just the way you left it. It's like, man, like if you've got shitty parents or had a shitty childhood, like you just want to fuck 1,000 planets, just stay here with your parents because it's pretty cool. And it's just nice. I just like it. And so the trait is really cool, right? I don't know if they come into the story in any way or if it's just a place where you go hang, but like you have that ability. They're on New Jemison. But the price you pay for that trait is you have to send 2% of your income back to them every month.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, some.
It's cool. Yeah.
Some, not the top.
Yeah.
I'll say I should have bought the house. Looking back on it, Teegan and Parris and Gary, I should have bought the house because I'm not much of a base builder. I'm not much of a ship builder. Those are two facets of the game that I have put zero interest in and want to dive into. And I really feel like I should have just bought that house, because I got money. And it's like I could have pulled up and seen a house. Now I'm out here rubbing two sticks together in the middle of the moon. You know,
you've seen how a bunch of people have already built like the Millennium Falcon and the Enterprise and the Razor Crest and Serenity. Like a lot of like sci-fi ships have already been. Some are better than others, but some look really good.
See the UNSC Halo ship as well.
Yeah, and I saw the Normandy
units.
as well. Yeah, I mean, people have built everything. It's amazing. The community's amazing, right? The game's been out 5 minutes, and yet people have already like found everything in it that there is to find.
Teegan, are you much into the shipbuilding? You've reviewed it. You've played a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so stupid when it comes to shipbuilding. I need like a hand-holdy tutorial. I have no idea what I'm doing. I keep bringing it up and I'm like, this is the day. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it. And every time I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I need to watch a tutorial video or something because the game does not teach you anything in that regard.
No, you said
I
so
did
well.
buy every house I could buy.
Oh, okay.
What's the purpose of buying the houses?
So you can live
lavishly. Other than
lavishly.
to say that I own every house.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
I
Did
don't
you
know
buy
if
a
I'm
house
missing
in the
one
core?
Neon.
Say that one more time.
I don't know if I bought a house in Neon. I bought a pod, but I don't know if there's another option in Neon.
They have
And then I
penthouse.
just saw-
I think they have penthouse apartments at Neon.
What's his name?
Okay.
If you go talk to the guy that runs the Astral Lounge,
Yeah, the bartender.
Yeah.
He'll sell it to you.
Again, this is where a map would have been nice because
Right?
you know you can't find
A map,
grand
Gary.
into
they desperately
the
need
Cheyenne guy.
what a concept. They desperately need a map in that game.
You would have liked to ask him what's up with the map. Why didn't we not do a map? For a game, for a series famously known, all of their previous games, for having maps of all your favorite cities and stuff. Why not this one?
They have the little glowing line, but you have to turn it on. It's only available when your scanner's up, and it doesn't work that well. It keeps going in and out, and it's easy to kind of like the trail will go cold, and you have to like turn the scanner off and on again to. It's amazing how often just turning something off and on again works. Even with Starfield.
You know what we need? You know what we need?
What do we need?
I'm just going to call it now. Xcast, I think we've done a fantastic job this year with big interviews with big people in this industry. I think we need a return visit from Todd Howard or maybe even a Pete Hines or somebody like that at Bethesda, you know, and we need a spoiler cast and we need to talk about some of these things. I think it would be fascinating to understand, and not from well, this sucks, that sucks, but why did you do encumbrance? Why don't you have a like love to understand the development process of why they made certain decisions on that, because I think it would be fascinating to hear it from their point of view versus us, the player, on why they made certain decisions and if they even think it's a feature that should be addressed. Maybe they don't. Maybe Todd Howard would come on here and go, no, I put encumbrance in there for a reason. Deal with it.
I would love to hear that. And Todd obviously is a brilliant game designer, and he might. I'm sure he could articulate to me, like, oh, well, now it makes when you put it like that. Now I understand. And now my comment feels very stupid. The problem is, I don't know if we're going to get Todd back on now that Esquire's called him the Christopher Nolan of video games. I think that's it. I think he's not going to come talk to us again.
He's big time.
He's big. We're going to get big timed. Yeah.
Teegan, really quick, back to you on the house buying. What is the best house? What house should me and the audience go buy if we were to buy one house? What's your favorite so far?
You get a house for free at the very end of the UC Vanguard, and it's very nice. So that one's definitely great. Recommend it. And it's free, so you can't beat that. But my favorite house that I bought is in Aquila City. If you go...
Is that the Firefly planet?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
If you go up and to the right, there's a guy standing outside a house, and he says, I've got 2 houses for sale. You can buy this one behind me, or you can buy another one. Buy the one behind him. It's really cute. I like that one. And then the worst house is the pod in Neon that I spent 1,000 credits on, and it's literally a toilet and the floor.
Yeah, it's the
sleep that's like the little sleep crate or whatever it is that they live in.
Crate,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Those things
you
are
can own
sweet.
One of those.
When I was dealing Aurora out in Neon, I got really lost. You know what I mean? I was deep in.
Were you tripping on Neon at the time on Aurora?
Yeah, let me tell you what. Okay, I came across a shady bartender who was like, "You want to make some quick cash?" And I was like, "Sir, I love cash." And he's like, "Here's what I want you to do: infiltrate the supplier, learn how to make the drugs."
Oh no, I've been doing that. I've been cooking up the Aurora. Yeah,
cooking.
I'm in the meth lab, like Walter White, cooking up, putting on the clean suit.
And so there I am. I'm making the drugs. Then I'm working with a girl on the inside. We're stealing the drugs. Then I go to the pickup spot. I pick up the drugs. I give it to the guy. It's a great 9 to 5. I'm having a blast with that one.
No, I
Play
like
that all the way
I
through.
couldn't do that one because I had Sam Coe as my companion and I married him and he's a stick in the mud.
Yeah.
And he would not.
All of
he
them
would
are
not
sticks in the
support
muds,
my
except for
drugs.
Andreja.
You got to kick that guy to the
Sam?
curb.
You know what? She's the one that got mad at me and left. of
No.
all of them. And I
Damn.
was sad. Yeah, she got mad
That's
at me.
crazy.
I have a question actually because I think it's been touched upon, but I've never really is there like much in the way of romance in this game? Is it like Mass Effect, and Baldur's Gate? Like Baldur's Gate's the horniest game of the year, man. Holy
So hot.
shit!
So
and
hot.
Mass Effect, is like you can romance almost everybody. How far down the rabbit hole can you go in Starfield?
So I ended up marrying Sam Coe just because for my review, I wanted to see if I could. And, I was like, he's cute. I could do that. So we, Sam Coe and I hooked up and he already has a daughter. So it's perfect. And then, he'll give me gifts every once in a while and you can choose to divorce them and you can choose to leave them. But I really, no, this is going to sound horrible. Nobody judge me for the first time you're meeting me. But, when it was getting rated, they were talking about jetpacks and I had to see what was going on with the jetpack and the rating scale because apparently you can, have woohoo moments with them. I don't know what we can say on here and what we
You
can't
can say whatever.
You can say fucking.
Yeah.
All right. So you know what? I wanted to get the jetpack fucking scene with
Yep.
Sam Coe.
Wait, are you actually
what? They
flying
just
around in a
allude to it.
jetpack while you're doing it, or are you just wearing the
You don't
jetpack?
see anything. It's not like Mass Effect. You don't see anything, and I was so disappointed.
You got to ask
You
Todd
literally
about
just
that.
sleep in the bed. You sleep in the bed. You wake up, and he goes, "Whoa! Last night, I hope I did Constellation proud." I'm like, "Dude, no, divorce."
Oh, so it never,
Divorce.
so it never really gets like steamy like it does in Mass
No.
Effect.
No.
Okay.
No, you just wake up in the morning. He's like, "Wow, that was good." I'm like, "Well, that's good. I'm glad, but
Oh,
disappointed."
Oh, that's not good
a little
enough.
disappointing.
You want your game, these days, your
know.
games have got to be at least a little bit horny.
A little. Put them
Little
on the
bit.
cover. Put them on.
Seriously, you played Baldur's Gate, right?
It's hot.
Like those,
Very,
I
very
said
hot.
before, like when those characters are not fucking, they're thinking about fucking. Like it is constantly.
Let's talk about
Hormonal.
companions because I have a bone to pick with Sam. Sam trying to bring his daughter on all of my adventures, my drug dealing escapades. It's like, Sam, I need you to leave her behind. I'm sorry about that. You can't roll with me. Then Sarah, right? Good-hearted Sarah. She's watching me murder pirate after pirate, sell drugs, join local gangs, and she's just yapping. Mike, you can't do that. Mike, you can't do this. It's like, Sarah, you're a stick in the mud, just like Teegan said. You gotta go, Sarah. And so now I find that I'm traveling alone a lot. I'm trying to find the one still.
No Vasco?
No, I don't like the big robot. He's too bulky.
He's the
Too much
best.
noise.
I feel like there's a good Teegan and Sarah joke somewhere, but I'm sure she's heard it a million times already since Starfield came
I
out.
haven't heard that yet.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
heard that yet.
See?
At least with this game.
Comedy trailblazer.
God, you're number one right there. Parris, what's
That's
your
why
favorite?
I'm fangirling so hard.
What's your favorite companion, Parris?
That's a good question.
Oh no.
I wind up romancing Sarah, so I guess it's Sarah. But
She's the main NPC, right? Like she's
Yeah,
like the Miranda of Mass Effect 2 in this.
But
game.
I know, you know what? My favorite, and I always screw her name up. I would say Andrea, but that's not how you say it. How do you say it?
Andreja.
Andreja, I think.
Andrea, yeah, she's probably my favorite. I enjoyed, but like I said, she got mad at me. I accidentally killed somebody. She got mad at me and she left. She came back because that's who I was. Look, I admit I was kind of double dipping there for a little bit.
What?
I was originally trying to romance her, and then she got mad and she left. But then she came back, and then we were just friends. So then I was like, all right, well then I'm pivoting to Sarah, and then I just wind up with Sarah. I know who my least favorite is, Barrett. I don't like Barrett at all.
Hey, man.
Kinda
Wait,
funny.
hold on. Are we still talking
Hey,
about
man.
Starfield?
Oh, here's the problem with Barrett. Is that, hold on, let me bring my little Kev cam up here. Is that
Oh, here he is. Yeah.
the way that they talk about him, like when he gives you the ship and you have to adventure without him for a little bit, the way that other people talk about him, he sounds like a really cool like goofball. But then when you actually hang out with him, I don't feel like they actually really pull that off with him.
No, at all.
Did you
He
see
got
the
mad at me for
NPC?
asking about his husband. Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead. Did you see the NPC that looks like a dead ringer for Lucy James?
Yes, she's in Aquila City at the bar.
Yeah.
You can go find her. And then there's also Paris. Paris has made jokes.
Yeah, we
Is
need
there a
to
Parris?
talk about this. We
Yeah.
need to talk about this on record, by the way. You're talking about Vladimir. So the amount of tweets and DMs I was getting before during the review period, people were like, dude, are you in the game? I'm like, no, that is not me. I am not in the game. I go, and if I am in the game, they sure as hell didn't pay me to be in the game.
Does he look like you?
Yeah.
How much does he actually look like you?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I've not
Everybody
seen
else
him. I
He
haven't
hasn't
seen this
met him yet.
character.
He doesn't know.
No,
He hasn't
him.
met him.
Oh, wait, hold on.
That's Vladimir.
Yeah.
Vladdy.
I mean,
No, I
they're
don't
both
think so.
bald. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I'd be insulted, frankly, Parris. You're much better looking than that dude.
Look, all I'm saying is this. They could have called me. I could have did the voice.
Could have been in there.
Nothing against the voice actor. He did a fantastic job, but I could have done a bad Russian accent or something. It'd have been great.
Yeah, bad accents. That's what this game's all about.
Wow.
You don't have a bad accent, you don't belong in this game.
You gotta get in your bag, as the kids call it. Yeah, you just gotta let it fly. You know.
Well, you know, my whole thing is
I do love this picture. I love this picture though that someone put the cyberpunk chair in there. That was brilliant. That was great. I loved it.
What do you got, Gary? What do you got on your mind? Tell me.
Where was I? Oh, I was going to ask Parris a question, or Teegan. Maybe one of you know the answer. How big is the pool of potential? Like, how many potential companions are there in the game? Do we know?
I'm not sure if they're. Now, when we say companions or people that you can hire to be on the ship in the outpost,
What's the difference? I'm people that can be on your crew.
Isn't it 8? Is it 8? Am I wrong?
I think they said 16 in an
Is it
interview,
16?
but I could be pulling.
No, I don't
that
mean. I don't mean like how big can your crew be. I mean, how many people are there out there in the universe who are hireable and can go on adventures with you?
Yeah,
I
that
think
I'm not sure.
16.
16.
Yeah, but
So
I'm
I've
not
already
sure,
met.
'cause
I've already met a
run
few of them, and
into
I
the constellation
haven't
ones, really.
haven't gone very far.
But those
yet.
are different than like. Those are named companions, right? As well, you can go to random bars and find.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about
expert
strange
too.
dudes that I just pick up at
Yeah.
bars. Yeah.
Look,
I am still talking about Starfield, by the way.
look for my guy Easy. You'll like Easy. Easy's my space cowboy. He's
Yeah,
my
definitely talk to the randos that you meet at
Well,
the
you
bars,
have
because some
to
of them will come
think.
work for you.
You have to think it should be a pretty high number, because if I'm building multiple outposts and I want to put people on those outposts, that can't be, a limited number. So that's a good question. We should find that out, because I'm not sure.
I've been putting a lot of points into persuasion.
Yeah, let's
when
talk
I'm
about that.
not putting them into fucking carry capacity. I'm putting them into persuasion.
Yeah.
And so one guy that I hired, he's like, I will only work for you for this much and not a penny less. And I did persuasion on him, got a couple of good rolls, and now he's working for half price.
Got
Love
him.
that.
Let's talk about the decision paralysis, which is the skills. Because man, oh man,
So many skills.
It pains me every time I level up, because now I got to play the game. Where am I on the skill map? Have I leveled up rank 1 to rank 2? Can I now approve that? Do I need to go rank up something totally random? Every time it kills me.
I actually like that system that not only do you have to acquire the skill point, you actually have to
gotta earn
do
it.
little mini achievements to unlock things. I actually think that's kind of cool.
I think the badges are very cute. So shout out to the team. Whoever created the art for the badges, great job.
Yep.
Very cute.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just having the decision paralysis every time I level up. And if you don't do the story quests at the beginning, if you just do side quests, they give you a much smaller pool of XP after completing each one.
Right.
So it's like my levels, it's been very tough to earn levels doing that.
Yeah,
And so when it is,
I've
it's like,
noticed that.
this-
I'm like, this game is really stingy with the level ups, but I think that is just because I've only been doing
yeah, you got to do the main
side quests. Yeah. Can you refund points? Can you
Oh,
refund the
that's
skill?
Teegan, can you refund points? Have you seen that at all?
Not that I've found, because there's a couple times where I'm like, okay, now that I've been in it, I wish I could kind of respec and
Yeah.
put points in new spots, and I haven't figured out how. So I'm not going to say you can't. I don't know how.
I
haven't found it yet.
I resent that point that I put into weightlifting or whatever it is, the thing that gave me like 15 extra encumbrance.
Yeah.
Oh, like I was like, you're making me. I want to spend it on pickpocketing or persuasion or ballistic damage, something cool. But I don't want to have to spend it on basic shit. You should
Bears told me
give
to
me in the
dive into
first
that
place.
early, and I did. So I knocked that out real
Well, you got
quick.
the space trucker
Space
trait, and that
trucker, man.
gives you a
I'm
little
moving
bit.
weights.
If I'd have known, I'd have been a space trucker, not a neon street rat. Because there should have been a warning. By the way, encumbrance in this game sucks. You might want to pick the space trucker.
Teegan, then Parris, I want to start off with you two. What perks did you guys go with? Where did you get lost in the skill tree? What did you have the most problems with? What did you want to jump on early?
So I think, Parris, you kind of said the same thing in your review, but since I was trying to have like a holistic picture, I kind of did points everywhere. And I kind of like that, because one thing that's really cool, and this is kind of a tangent, so I apologize, but one thing that's really cool is depending where you have points, you'll notice your dialogue changes. So I did this mission where I needed to hack a computer, and because I had high hacking ability, because I absolutely love the digi picking and the tech stuff.
I like the lock picking mechanic. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was able to say, hey, I work for IT and I need to update your computer. And he's like, oh, okay. And he left the room, and I was like, okay, hacking into the computer. And, I didn't have to fight anybody, didn't have to raise any alarms. So it's really cool because since I have points everywhere, I'm constantly getting like, oh, I can say this because I have medicine. Oh, I can say this because I have digipicking. Oh, I can whatever. And I think that that's really cool. But it is super overwhelming because I have this spaceship that I got in a side mission that I built, or a company built for me. So I got it for free because I helped them design it. And I can't fly the thing because my flying is not high enough. It's a Class C ship. And I did not put any points in there because at first I did not like the space combat. I was horrible at it. So I was like, I'm not putting any points there. Well, now I want to fly this ship, so I keep having to put points there, but I haven't done enough space battles, so I can't fly this ship, and it's sitting there in all its beautiful glory, and I can't use it. So it's frustrating because I just want all of the skills, because all of them seem very helpful in their own way.
It is. You're absolutely right. It is overwhelming. The first time you get a skill point and you go to the tree, you literally have to scroll left and right to see all the different skill trees. And what's interesting about it as well is that the ones beyond the initial ranks, that you don't know what they are, right? It doesn't even tell you. Like, you can't like go down to the end of the skill tree and go, okay, this will lead me here. I guess obviously at this point you can cheat, go online and like look at an unlocked skill tree, but in the game you don't necessarily know where certain trees will lead you. So like, and again, the game's very stingy with skill points unless you're doing the main quest, which I haven't started yet. So I think I put a few into pistol damage. I always put points into max health, even though I'm playing on baby mode. I always put points into max health. And I like the persuasion thing is really good. I even bought the wine at the Astral Lounge that gives you extra. The thing about it is, this is what's annoying. You don't know if a persuasion option is going to come up until you're in a dialogue tree. Yeah. So, for example, I've got this. I bought this wine that I'm going to drink when I need to persuade someone. When are you going to chug that wine? Gives you like 10% plus persuasion or whatever. I did the thing on the Firefly planet where these guys are like barricaded in this house with hostages. Let's get into it. I guess I should have known there'd be a persuade option, but I didn't drink the wine. When the persuade option comes up, at that point, when you're in a dialogue tree, you can't access the inventory. So you can't like, oh, persuade, I'm going to drink my drink. Like, you need to know before you go into a dialogue, because if you exit out, it's going to mess it all up. Anyway, that didn't work, so I had to go in and kill everybody.
Good call.
But that was good too.
That's fine. Yeah. Get the chip in your head so then you can manipulate people.
Oh, there's a chip?
Yeah,
oh,
man,
that sounds great.
People.
The Ryujin line.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm on the Ryujin. I just got coffee for that. That lady.
That will start. Yeah, that's the start of something. Yeah. So do that.
Yeah.
Parris, what are some of your favorite perks / skills?
Excuse me. My favorite would be the hacking and all the lock picking. I did invest into pilot and some other things with the ship, so I could be able to upgrade that as well. And then like I told you when I was in the studio early on, I just invested in weightlifting and in the medical side as well. Now that I'm it's not a spoiler. Now that I'm in New Game Plus, I've been investing more in some of the science aspects of it as far as researching and things like that, because I want to kind of start maxing that stuff out as well. Because again, there's so much to do in the game. And it's like, now that I understand how the game works and I understand the things that I want to focus on, that's where I'm putting my skills now, because I'm more in planet discovery mode than I am more so than anything. And I am going to start really focusing on building more outposts and really investing in that too, and just try and get my whole trade network up and running. So that's kind of my main focus from a skill standpoint.
I think I am going to have to bite the bullet and start the main quest, because I didn't know that about how the side quests don't give you as much XP as it makes sense now that you mention it. But like, Pete Hines famously said like last week before the game came out, I have 130 hours in the game, haven't started the main quest. So clearly that's a way that they, not necessarily encouraging, but are saying that's a valid way to play. And that's how I've been playing. And usually, like, you see this in a lot of games, like, do a bunch of side quests, level up. So when you get into the main quest, like, you've already got like a little bit of a cushion, like you've got some levels and some skills. But yeah, I remember thinking, man, this game really doesn't like giving you skill points. It doesn't like giving you achievements either. But what I want to do now is jump into the main quest. And here's the reason why. I want to see if the main quest is any good. I've heard from people that have played it, it actually is really interesting. Yeah. The problem that I have, and again, I always come to this from like a storyteller narrative standpoint, is part of the reason why I haven't started the main quest is from a narrative storytelling perspective. The game doesn't give you any reason to. There's no like, I'm not.
You don't think touching the rock and having your brain zapped was enough?
I did that in Mass Effect. I literally did exactly that. I touched an alien artifact and had an acid trip, and it's like, oh, now you got to figure out what's going on. There isn't anything like at the start of the story that makes you go, I've got to get to the bottom of this. I just wasn't compelled to do the main quest. I think once I bite the bullet and do it, again, I've heard that it actually goes to really interesting places. I just don't feel excited about getting into the main quest yet, but I'm going to do it.
Well, that's where I want to end today's episode because we've had a great conversation about our stories. And I want to talk with these two because they have done the main quest. They're in New Game Plus. I am about 2/3 through the main quest. And yeah, we've heard this narrative go on of do the main quest and go through and try to get to New Game Plus, or, don't get too lost in the side quest because I think the main story will really benefit the player. Let's ask these two, Teegan and Parris, do you both agree with that narrative going on right now that you should probably dive into the story side of things early on and maybe stick with that early on?
Parris, I'll let you go first.
Oh, you let me.
Interesting take.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go first on that. My thought on it is no, do not rush the main story. Don't just rush and play through the main story so you can get into New Game Plus. My opinion on it is, yes, you want to dabble into the main story, but I think take your first playthrough as fun. Use it as an opportunity to try out various things, go join various factions, see what you like to do in Starfield. And then you can kind of find what your role is going to be in Starfield. And at that point, now jump into the main story. Maybe you do want to go ahead and complete it and jump in the New Game Plus and just continue your journey from there, or you don't have to at all. I don't think there's a mandate that you have to finish the main story to enjoy Starfield. You will at some point. But even if you do decide to finish the main story, now you can obviously continue that journey in New Game Plus. But I think your first playthrough should be your opportunity to find what works for you in that game. What do I love to do in this world? And then at that point, you can just decide if, all right, now I will finish the story or I will just continue doing what I like to do.
Teegan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. So the slight difference I have is that I did mainline it once I hit a certain point because something happens and I'm like, I need to know where this goes. So I mainlined it from that point on. And there is almost like a point of no return, which will be pretty obvious when you get there. And when I hit that point of no return, I was like, wait a minute, I want to go back and I don't want to cross this point of no return because it gives you the option. And that's when I went back and I really explored the universe and I did all the faction stuff and I did all the random activities that I thought would just be silly little things that took 2 seconds, but ended up being stories like the mantis or this story where I had to help a tree because the tree was horny. These stories that really got much deeper than I anticipated. So at that point of no return, I backtracked, but I was able to play the entire game. I knew where the story was going. And then I took a step back and I explored the world. So I kind of have do both. Mainline the story till you get to that point of no return, then back out, live in the world, buy your houses, join the factions, marry your companion, whatever you want to do. And then it made, when I actually did finally cross that point of no return, so much more meaningful because I saw the impact that I had in the world, in the universe. And then I went into the New Game Plus and I was like, heck yes, this felt really good. And that, how Greg said he had that moment where it just clicked. That's when the game really clicked for me because I was like, wow, I lived here. I made an impact. I was important. These things impacted me. Now I'm ready to go into New Game Plus.
That's really well said. Gary, I'll tell you, as someone, I said, we spent a whole 48 hours playing this game nonstop. Didn't touch a single main quest, right? It was awesome. It was a great experience. What I will say, as someone who just experienced that and is now experiencing the main quests, you should 100% at least play the couple beginning main quests because you miss out on a pretty vital piece of the game. And I think you should probably at least get that because I feel like your character's missing just a small piece. And it does suck to have played so much and go, oh, there's that's been here this whole time. So play a couple of the missions.
I think I'm going to do the casino thing, get into the main thing. I just one final point on this. One of the problems that I have as a gamer, honestly, when I play these big open world type games, where you can come at it any different way and choose what you want to do and when you want to do it, is I often have this kind of low-level anxiety that I'm not playing the game right, quote unquote. I'm not playing the game in the way that will allow me to get the best out of it. I'm doing it wrong. So anytime I see one of these Starfield 10 things you have to know before you play Starfield, I'm like, oh shit, well I have to know those things, otherwise I won't get the most out of the game, and I always have anxiety about it. Or I didn't get the best ending, and all this kind of stuff. I have constant FOMO when I'm playing games. And I know one person that's restarted the game 3 times now because they were like, I feel like I played the game and then I realized I'm doing it wrong. I'm going to go back and re-roll. I kind of feel like I think that's all on the player. I don't think the game's doing anything wrong. I think one of the things about that this game does right is it encourages the idea that all playthroughs are valid. However you want to play it, you're going to have a good time, right? And like I say, if you just want to do side quests, the game's not going to punish you for that. But if you want to get the best out of it, you should do the main quest, do everything. But like any time I'm in a game like this, I feel like I'm missing out on something if I'm not doing it right. But the whole point of a game like this, and I do think is the one big thing that Starfield gets right, is the sense that there is no right or wrong way to play it.
I want to end today's episode with you, Teegan, because you have done a fabulous job joining us and sharing your Starfield stories. And at the beginning of the show, you talked about Skyrim being one of your favorite games of all times. And of course, I've been quoted on this podcast, and Parris brought it up, about a game of a generation we talked about for Starfield and kind of having that accolade. When you look at this, I know it's very early on to tell, like Parris said, but do you think a year from now, 5 years from now, we will talk about Starfield in the way that we talk about Skyrim and look at it like that?
I think so. And I really do think this is one of those games where the more time that goes on, and I think you guys have said this before too, so I'm not saying anything new or profound, but the more time goes on, I think we're going to see higher scores from people, higher opinions from people. Because yes, obviously it has its flaws, it has its quirks. There are some things we'd love to see changed, but overall, I called this game a masterclass, and I still stand by that. I really think it is. And I think it's one of those things where once you get used to the systems, once you get used to the quirkiness, once you find your place and you are really into it, it just gets better and better. I swear, the more I play it, the more I love it. Because when I first turned it on, I'm not going to lie to you, I was like, ooh, this isn't clicking. I don't really love this. And I was kind of disappointed. And then I hit a certain point in the story and I was like, oh, okay, no, this is clicking. I'm really liking this. So I do think that we will see some people look back and say, okay, a year ago, yes, this was a whatever you scored it. But now I do think it's a higher score. And I do think we'll have that. And I think we'll have great conversations about this game going forward.
That's why I said last week, Mike, I think that you're going to see a lot of outlets, a lot of reviewers come back and reassess the game 3 months, 6 months from now, a year from now, because it is going to be different. That's why I said I wasn't comfortable putting a score on it, because it's like asking me to review a whole season of television having seen half of the first episode. There's too much we haven't seen and experienced. I understand that reviewers, they have to put a score on it at launch, but again, it's like that's the score after a limited amount of play. I do think, my experience is the same. The more I'm playing it, the more I'm enjoying. I think it's a game that is going to be better appreciated, both as people understand it and spend more time in that world, but also as Bethesda continues to patch and improve it, because they have a lot of fixes they need to do, but I think they're also going to continue to just make the game better and add more stuff. There'll be DLC. The modding, there's already a modding scene. The game's been out 5 minutes. There's already like loads and loads of mods. And just like Skyrim, the modding community is going to go mad. There's going to be a Skyrim extra super duper Constellation 20-year anniversary thing that's going to have all the mods and DLC and that then becomes like the definitive version of it. Right now, today, I think it's a really, really good game with a few big annoyances that bug me. But I think over time, I'm going to tip more in favor of, like, in spite of the annoyances, I'm loving playing this game.
Well, this is not the last time we talk about Starfield. Of course, here on the Xcast and in the gaming sphere, we're going to be talking about Starfield for a long, long time to come. But this will be the last time we talk about Starfield on this episode of our podcast, the KindaFunny Xcast. Of course, we are joined by Teegan, LiteWeightGaming over on YouTube. Teegan, do me a favor, promote yourself and tell everybody how awesome you are and where they can find you before we get out of here.
All right, guys, I'm really only on YouTube. You can find me at LiteWeightGaming, but it's Lite, because as a lightweight, you can't spell it correctly. You got to have some fun with it, right? So LiteWeightGaming over on YouTube. Same thing with Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And I have Let's Plays, reactions, and I'm just getting into the review scene. So lots of content, daily uploads, fun stuff over there.
You can go check out her full review.
That's weird.
Check out her full review of Starfield. Of course, she's very excited for Spider-Man 2 for all you Sony fans and Spider-Man fans out there. And, of course, The Expanse. I saw her over at The Expanse event. She's doing all awesome things. So go check out Teegan and all of her cool content. Of course, Gaming Dads, this will end our week. We are back at it again next week. To all of the audience out there, thank you so much for joining us. Down in the comments below, share some of your favorite Starfield stories, and we'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye, gamers.